KEET TV presents Homework Hotline, the after-school show that fuses learning with fun. Watch local teachers bring the classroom on air and online. This is Homework Hotline.
Hi everybody, I'm Cassandra Hayes from Fortuna Middle School.
Hi everyone, my name is Dan Scofield. I teach science classes at St. Bernard's Academy.
Welcome to Homework Hotline.
Yeah, welcome to Homework Hotline. I'm glad you could join us today. We are going to, welcome to spring, right?
Yeah, welcome to spring. It's exciting.
So we're going to, I guess, be looking at some applications of gardening. But first of all, we have an announcement about this Saturday, right? So
we do have an announcement.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have the Humboldt Math Festival coming up this Saturday, April 2nd. And it's from 12 to 4 at the Adorney Center in Eureka. And I hear there's going to be a lot of fun hands-on activities and good family fun time.
Right. Lots of different things to look at, lots of hands-on things to do. It's great fun.
Yeah, hopefully people will.
So check it out.
Yeah, for sure. So, well, with spring, I thought we would spring into math a little bit. Mm-hmm. And so I hear you garden.
I'm a novice gardener. I've been doing it just for a few years. And so I grow whatever, I try different things and I make lots of mistakes. And sometimes things work out pretty well. So
I think that's the beauty of gardening. Yeah. You can make a lot of mistakes and then each year we get
right.
a little better. Well, I was playing around in my garden this weekend and thought it would be fun to take a look at area and perimeter. Mm-hmm. So I have in my backyard, I have a garden bed and I was trying to figure out how many plants I could grow in there. So, but before we start, I thought we could take a look at what perimeter is, the difference between area and perimeter. So if you take a look here, you can see that the perimeter is the boundary that outlines a shape. And so we have a square and it is outlined in black. And then we have a rectangle here that's outlined in yellow. And that is the perimeter identified there.
So if I walked all the way around your garden, well, it looks like if an ant walked all the way around your garden, this is in centimeters, that would be the perimeter, right? Okay.
That would be the perimeter. Or maybe you could think of like a fence along a boundary. So maybe the fence of your yard is also the perimeter of your yard. And you'll notice that when we calculate the perimeter, we just add up the sides as you're walking around the shape. So if it's an ant walking around this 1 centimeter square, you can see that as you walk around, 1 plus 1 centimeter plus 1 centimeter plus 1 centimeter plus 1 centimeter, I can't talk today, centimeter equals 4 centimeters. And here on the right, where we have the rectangle, the short sides are both 2 centimeters and the long sides are 3 centimeters. So you would total that up as well. 2 plus 3 plus 2 plus 3 equals 10 centimeters. So let's talk about what area is. And I wanted to do this because I noticed that a lot of people get confused. Mm-hmm. So it's good to always just review what each of these are. So our area is defined as the amount of space within that two-dimensional shape. So you might think of like the carpeting
right.
that's on a floor in a room. And so here we have our square again, our 1 centimeter square. Let me move out of the way here. And the area is the two sides multiplied. And you'll notice that the unit of measurement in area is squared. So we have 1 centimeter squared. And here we have another square. It has 4 different 1 centimeter squares in there. And so 2 centimeters multiplied by 2 centimeters equals 4 centimeters squared. And then I just expanded that, going to a 3 by 3 centimeter square, and that equals 9 centimeters square.
Nice.
So.
And it's nice to know this for how much space you can, like how many plants you can put in there.
Definitely.
Or how much potting soil you need to buy. Or.
Exactly. Or if you're putting in a rug for your house, you want to know what the area is of the floor so you don't buy a rug that's too big or a rug that's too small. So here I have a Venn diagram to show some of the similarities and differences, and area is here on the left, perimeter will be on the right, and you can see that it has an overlap because there are some similarities that both area and perimeter share. So perimeter is outside a polygon. It's a measurement outside the polygon. Area is inside the polygon. Should we say what a polygon is, do you think?
Sure. The
So we have
polygons.
Yeah.
I'm gone a lot. Does that? No. No, sorry.
Many sides, a
Many
many-sided
sides, okay.
shape. And with perimeter, to calculate it, we add each side length. And with area, it's length times width. The unit of measurement is some type of length. It could be meters, centimeters, kilometers, miles.
Right.
Depends on how big your space is. While in area, the unit is squared. So meters square, or square meters.
Right. Or
Square
square
miles.
yards, square miles, as long
Square
as you
yards.
don't mix the units up.
Yes, it will make a difference. And then the operation that we use when we're calculating perimeter is addition, while the operation that we use when calculating area is multiplication. So let's look at some of the similarities used in daily life.
Yep.
I like that. And it's a measurement of shapes and polygons.
Nice.
Yeah. So we have another way to look at it. We can see that I have a list here of ways that they are alike and ways that they're different. So they're alike, as I mentioned before, they're used in everyday life. They measure shapes, and you can draw models to help solve. Models are always really helpful for this. And the difference is the area is the space inside of a shape. Perimeter is a length around a shape. Area uses multiplication, and perimeter uses addition. So there's my beautiful garden bed.
There you go. Looks so much potential. I see potential.
I see potential as well. And I've been trying to figure out, well, how many plants can I grow in there? How big is this space? And I thought I would bring the problem to the audience to help us
Great.
figure this out. So I went out, I found the dimensions of my garden plot, and the length is 10 feet, and the width is 9 feet. So I
Okay.
figured we could calculate the total area of my garden and find out what the perimeter of my garden is, because I think I need a fence around it.
Okay.
So, shall we do a little bit of calculations here?
Sure.
All right. I don't know if we can do this on the board, but we could probably do it mentally.
Okay.
Alrighty. So with the total area of my garden, again, we use multiplication as we mentioned. So 9 times 10,
Is 90.
90 feet squared. All right, I'm going to make a little note here. So we've got
90.
90 feet squared is my area. And how about the perimeter of my garden? We have 9 plus 10 plus 9 plus 10.
All the way around.
All the way around. So we have 2 multiplied by 9,
Yeah.
18.
18 and then
And then-
20.
Yep, 2 multiplied by 10 gives us 20. So we have 20 plus 18, 38 feet.
38 feet.
All right, so we have 38 feet. We're gonna have to get 38 feet of fencing.
I had to do that too because the deer were getting into it.
Ah, did you have to do an 8-foot fence?
I covered it. I put a top to it.
Oh, wow.
So,
Wow. They will have no chance to get in there then. So here I started thinking about, well, if I do square foot gardening, have you heard of square foot gardening before?
no.
Square foot gardening is a really great way to grow a lot of food in a very small space. And so I broke this up into a grid that is 9 foot by 10. And I calculated, although some of these plants will get a little bit bigger, and I want to bring the bees to my garden, so I threw in some flowers. But I calculated that I could have 5 rows with 9 plants in each row, and giving me 45 plants, and then a variety of some root plants and maybe some larger ones like tomatoes. And
Okay.
yeah.
So you had, for each square foot, you're putting a different kind of a different plant in?
A different plant for each square foot.
Okay. There you go. Right.
Yeah. So can probably have about 60 different plants. I'm estimating in my 90 square foot garden.
And then you get a variety, and that's, yeah, I like that.
Yeah. So I thought we would have some fun and have some people run around their house, go and find some different objects around the house, and we can do some perimeter and area practice. So I'll show you what I brought. I had some algebra tiles at school, so some squares and rectangles. I found some dominoes in my closet, some little link blocks.
Nice.
Uno cards, because who doesn't love Uno? And these are some other cards, some other types of playing cards.
Nice.
Yeah. And then these are different shapes. Different shapes.
Yes. Okay.
So the other thing you can do is you can go and find square crackers in your house or a small box. Any square or rectangular or any object that you would like. And then we have couple different types of paper here. Paper that's like a paper bag. And then I happen to have some graph paper that is 1/4 inch.
Excellent.
So the 1/4 inch, the graph paper is super fun because you could draw yourself or draw a robot and then calculate the
How
area
big it is. Nice.
of perimeter. So some of the other items that you'll want to have, of course, is a pencil or some sort of writing utensil. Rulers are always helpful, so you could measure, especially if you don't have the grid paper. And then any other objects from around the house. So the directions are also really simple. You just trace the object on the paper, measure and mark the side links, calculate the area and the perimeter. So lots of fun.
Fun.
Yeah. Yeah. So shall we get started?
Sure.
Shall we do some different objects?
I think maybe I'm going to draw. You tempted me with a robot, so maybe I'll draw.
Oh, you're going to try the robot?
I'll try the robot.
Okay, that'll be fun. And then some of these different objects might be fun to do with a robot as well.
Right.
And so I think I'll start with a domino, and actually already did some tracing here. I've got, I think I must have traced one of these rectangles, so do some measuring on that.
Okay.
So the nice thing is if you have a ruler that is in both centimeters and inches, sometimes you don't get a very neat measurement on inches. So I like to go over and do the measuring in millimeters because that is sometimes a little bit easier to get a really nice clean measurement.
Yeah.
And then it's better for calculations.
Yeah, or you can do both and see how they compare.
Oh, that's fun.
Always fun.
Yeah. Well, then I'll go ahead and do both and get started here.
All right. You're going to do, okay, you got the side length?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to draw a robot.
Okay.
And we can measure it. I'll draw it on the grid paper. I'm going to make it, I think I'll make a square. He'll make this his main body.
Okay, that'll be fun. And the nice thing is if you're working with a parallelogram, which is an object like or two-dimensional object that is a square or any other object that has two sides that are parallel, all four sides are parallel to each other, meaning they'll never meet, then you only have to measure one side because you can assume that if the left side is 1 3/4 inch, then the right side will be 1 3/4 inch.
Nice.
I think I should have brought out a calculator.
Right. You're going to have some interesting numbers?
We are going to have some interesting numbers here.
Okay.
That looks a lot like when I've seen my students draw.
That's right.
My 6th grade students had a lot of fun. And there are some other shapes here, if you'd like. We have some rectangles.
I'm just going to make the legs the same. I'm having trouble making the legs the same length as all.
Some smaller.
All right, I got the same length legs. maybe I'll put.
Oh, yeah. Well, they look pretty good. Okay, so I'm also going to measure this in millimeters. We have 43. So and I find, I was talking to you earlier about how when I had my kids at home, they would have a lot of fun exploring and measuring different objects around the house.
Right.
And
You can make irregular shapes around there too and see how big they are.
Definitely. Okay, so I have some measurements here. I'm going to go ahead and start calculating my area and my perimeter. Oh, I like that. Very nice. So I'm curious, when you do the area, are you going to calculate the area of the head and then the eyeballs separately, or are you going to subtract?
We could do
area of your eyeballs?
we could do either way. So
Yeah, I guess it depends on how complicated you want to make it. That's a pretty great robot you've got going there.
Hey, it's been a while since I drew a robot, so I think that probably shows.
All right. Well, here I have some challenging numbers to multiply.
Okay, let's see. What do we got here?
So we got
43 times 65?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If I was to break that, I would start with my 40 times 60.
I was thinking the same thing.
So
Is that because you know that 40 plus 3 equals 43? So you broke
Right, I'm gonna
43
break,
apart?
yeah.
Okay. And
So-
then 60 plus 5 equals 65. Alrighty.
Right. Yeah, I could do. Actually, 40 times 65 isn't too bad either. So we could make that. We don't have to break it down as much. So maybe.
Well, why don't we just go ahead and do,
Okay, do it this way, okay.
So we've got 240 here.
Okay. And so it's close to that.
Mm-hmm.
So, and of course, that's 2,000, isn't it? 24, yeah, 2,400.
Oh, thank you.
And then, so then we have to add, how are we doing this? Okay, so 40 times 60, and so we would do
If it was me, I would do the 3 multiplied by 60.
3 times 60, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that's our 180.
And then 5 times, well,
Yeah, 5 times 40 and then 5 times 3.
yeah. Right, yeah, we're breaking this up and making a,
This is one of the strategies I
yeah.
teach my students, because oftentimes we are in a situation where we have to do some mental math, and it's nice when our brains chunk it.
Yeah, and then
Down.
we got, yeah.
And then we have what do we have there? 5 times 3.
Yeah.
5 multiplied by 3.
Yeah, the last terms. So this is, we're doing this kind of algebraically. Yeah, except instead of x's, we just got to have all numbers.
That's right.
And this way we can do it in our heads, yes.
So it looks like the area there is 2,795 millimeters squared. That seems like a lot.
But that's, okay. That seems reasonable. So if it was, I mean, this is 44.3 centimeters on a side.
True. So
Yeah, so this is-
27.
Yeah, so it's going to be 27 square centimeters, which is, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks right.
All right.
And then inches. What's 1 3/4 times 2.5?
And how would I personally would change this 1 3/4 into 1 7/500?
Okay.
And my 2.5 into 2 5/10?
I would
make the calculations a little bit easier.
That works.
How
I would
you-
do it 7/4 times 5 halves.
Aha.
That's what I would do. But so I like fractions better.
7/4 multiplied by 5.
Because 2.5 is the same as 5
Halves.
halves, and 1 3/4
Good
is
point.
7. And then you just get a multiply straight across. But by conversion of square inches into square millimeters, I don't have a thought for what that is.
I don't either. I don't either. All right, so here we're going to multiply across.
So we have 35
35/8.
eighths, sure.
And
And then that's what, 4 3/8?
yeah, 4 3/8.
4 3/8. Square inches.
Square inches, yep.
Sure. 4 3/8 square
All
inches.
right, so
All
that
right,
was fun. Okay. How's your,
My
sorry for
robot-
distracting you on your
No,
robot
it's fine.
here to do some
I don't know what to do about his
calculations.
hands, but
So I'll go ahead and calculate the perimeter here. So we have 43, and I always like to walk my two-dimensional object counterclockwise, and I, for some reason, do that from left to right. So 43 plus 65 plus 43 plus 65. And so we have 86 and 130. Very nice, very nice. Is he going to have any shoes? Any feet
maybe
there?
some roller skates.
So our perimeter is 216 millimeters. So it's kind of fun. You definitely want to make sure that you have a big piece of paper because these calculations can take quite a bit of space. Or if you have a calculator, you can just punch in the numbers and get out the solution.
Here we go.
All right, some roller skates. Okay. Well, are you ready for the perimeter? Maybe you want to highlight the perimeter.
All right, let's do the
of-
perimeter. Here we go. So I'm going to count squares as I go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. I'm not going to count the antenna. 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 5, 6, 57, 58, 9, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 81, 83, 84, 87, 88, 89, 90, 92, 94, 96, 98, 101, 3, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 110, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 18, 120, 21, 24, 25, 26, 28, 130, 32, 34, 36, 38, 140.
Wow, 140.
140.
Is it okay if I write on your
Oh,
paper?
absolutely.
Okay. So we've got a perimeter of 140 units,
And each unit is a 1/4 inch.
and each unit is a 1/4 inch.
Wow, I made it come out divisible by 4.
You sure did.
Amazing. Okay.
Well, yes, you did.
And so the 140 divided by, because every 4 is an inch.
Yep.
So, so every is 4. So that means 140 divided by 4 is 25 plus 10, right?
It sure is. Let's see. So we've got 30, right? So we have 3. 14 divided by 4 goes in 3 times with 20 left over.
Yeah. And
So
5.
35.
35. So 35 inches.
So 35 inches is the perimeter.
Okay.
And one of the things I do with my students, so they don't have to hold all those numbers in their head, is I let them to go ahead and
Yeah, put little
Put-
dimensions on it. Yeah.
And then it's.
I could have gotten. I was
Yes.
thinking about it as I was going along. So what
I was
I can
impressed,
do.
though. You counted that really fast.
what I can do with this though is to get the area. What I guess is now we can just count blocks, right?
We could.
So I'm just gonna I'll put numbers in here. So this is 3, 1, 2, 3. This is 4. So that means that's 4
Yeah.
and that's 3. And this is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, and that means that's 16.
Right, because you've got symmetry there.
Yeah,
That's fantastic.
4 and 4, and 2 and 2 and 2 and 2. And now this bigger area I'm going to get by multiplying. And 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I made a square. I didn't even know that. Okay,
Wow,
81.
fantastic.
9 times 9, and this is 3. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is 25.
There we go.
And so
Now we could
we just add them all
add
up.
all those up.
So-
So we've got 7 plus 7 plus our 28, so that gives us 35. Wait, 14, 39, 42. Boy, 43, 123.
123, sure.
And then we've got plus our 32.
123 plus 32 is 155.
That looks like we have 8. 2 multiplied by 8, so 16.
So 16 more is
171?
171.
All right.
171 unit blocks, and again, that each one of the, divide that by 4, we have a number that's not going to be coming out
Nope.
divisible by 4.
It won't be.
But it's not too different. It's going to be around 42 3/4.
Yeah, let's see. 171 divided by 4. Boy, didn't know that we were going to be doing all this math. I thought we were just going to be planting a garden.
Okay.
So yeah, 42 and some change there. So inches squared.
Yeah.
Okay. Very nice.
So how many plants can we put in your garden?
Well, so I'm thinking maybe about 60, but I have to really get the birds to leave my seeds alone.
Right.
So that's been the challenge
Right.
this year.
I have a similar problem with that, but again with deer, and so I have netting that would keep the birds out too.
Ah,
But I had to cover it all up. That's what but then some of the plants would grow up and over that.
yeah, it's that's one of the downsides of living in Humboldt County
Yeah.
is we have so much wildlife, but then we have so much wildlife.
Right.
So that's one of the wonderful sides of it as well.
Yeah, the first time I made a garden box, I put lettuce in it, and my son goes, "Dad, there was a deer sitting down next to your garden box and just chowing down."
Wow.
So I said, "Okay,
You're
I got to do something
super
about
grateful
that."
that
Yes.
you planted him a lettuce garden.
Right. Very, very, very thankful.
Yes. Well, thank you very much for
Thank you.
creating such a beautiful robot.
I
there.
got to draw a robot today. Who would know? I
Right?
didn't know.
Right?
And look at all the lovely things. And so you can be out there and draw all kinds of things and find out area and perimeter.
It's true. It's true. It's always fun to practice. Lots of math to do. And
See you next time,
yeah,
Tuesday.
definitely. Bye, everybody.